Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chronic Happenings, episode number 2. I am your host, Bumbershoot, here with Licking Lizard himself,
Dank McPuffins.
How you doing, brother? How you doing? How's life treating you?
Life is treating me very well right now. How's life treating you?
It's been interesting. Life is okay, man. It's sitting back watching the world go around.
Yeah.
You been smoking any good weed lately?
Been smoking a lot of good weed lately.
Oh, really? That's always a good thing to hear. Let's start with a basic check-in, man. What you been smoking? What do you recommend?
Let's see. One thing I've been smoking a lot of lately, Sugar Black Rose.
Sugar Black Rose.
That's pretty good stuff.
What do you know about it? What's the background on this stuff?
I don't know. Somebody bred some plants together, and it turned out to be some pretty good weed. That's about all I know about it.
A lot of plants started fucking.
I didn't research it, man. I didn't go back to the lab and go tour.
Well, usually it says something on the package, man. Okay, but so a lot of plants started fucking this Sugar Black. What was it? Sugar Black Rose.
It said it had a pretty good percentage of THC in it. So.
Well, what was the percentage? That's
like 23, 24.
There you go. That's not bad at all. Yeah. Indica sativa. What do you? Indica. Okay.
Yeah, we smoke right before bedtime, so we do indica because it just eases you into slumberland.
In the couch. There you go, man. That sounds good. Shit,
yeah.
That's a good recommendation. Sugar Black Rose. All right. And get that over towards Parkland, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that area. Till they pay me, I ain't saying their names, but for the right amount, there's blank. Your name goes here. That's all I'm saying, folks. Okay, cool. Anything else you recommend? I mean, I've got a couple I've been trying, but what was that with just that? You were talking about tell me about the rolling papers we just had.
Yeah. These they're called lift tickets, and it's just like a rolling paper, but they put some concentrated oil on it.
Okay.
So like the THC content on the rolling paper itself, like the one we just had, it was a sativa.
Okay.
It was AK-47 oil on it.
Oh.
But it was like at 56% on the oil. So then you put whatever weed you throw in with it, and it gives you a pretty good,
all right, pretty
strong high. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good.
That's pretty good. Like I said, we had a good game of Connect Golf going there, and. That tells you you're smoking a sativa. Is if all of a sudden you feel the need to do shit like that, let's play Connect Golf. It's like how many kids, how many ADHD kids does it take to change a light bulb? You want to go ride bikes? Fucking takes forever to get anything done. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was gonna tell you about one I found. It was Snoop's Blue Dream mini nugs, and it was a pretty good little mix. It was. You had kind of gotten me into the higher CBD levels, and I want to say this was like a 5.9% CBD.
Yeah.
Very nice little strain. I mean, then I want to say that one ran $20 an eighth. I mean, pretty good stuff.
That's good word. Yeah, off the air, you have to tell me where you found that at.
Again, blank. Your name could go here, folks. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, one day it may be worth it. But I'll tell you where I got it. It's still here in Western Washington.
I know it's one of probably like 2 or 3 places. You'll just have to tell me which one.
Yeah, you'd have to go a little bit out of your way. A little bit out of your way to get that. Like I said, I got that. That was some good stuff. I just had some good kush too. Some critical kush. Very, very nice. Like 24%. I'm very happy with it. Well, what's been going on in the world of news, man? The world of weed today.
Just a couple of interesting stories I've seen over the last few weeks since we've done the podcast. It has direct ramifications here in Washington as our Attorney General Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III. So the first 2 weren't fucking enough. But anyway, so version number 3, and he's
version number 3.
Yeah, he probably is. He looks like a little weasel. Anyway,
goes to elf orgies. I imagine that too. He probably goes to he's probably worse than Donald Trump. He goes through the little fucking Keebler elf house and grabs him by the pussy.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Back when Obama was in office and recreational started getting passed in all these states. Obama, his official position as the administration was, I don't care if there's recreational weed as long as these stores aren't trafficking money to drug dealers.
Sure.
And doing, really heinous stuff.
And the statistics have shown that that has been the case. Decreased black market, decreased dangerous situation for people that want to smoke. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, the retail stores were not a point of emphasis for the drug enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III, in his brilliance.
I'm going to be thinking about that when I whack it tonight. I'd be like, oh, Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. Do it again one more time for me.
Nah, man. I'm getting nervous in here now. No. But anyway, he who thinks marijuana is like the same as heroin.
Mm-hmm. And just a little less evil than heroin, he did say.
Yeah, a little less. Everybody's dying from the marijuana crisis.
Everybody.
But anyway,
zombie
so
outbreak,
he announced
man.
that protection that was put in place by the Obama administration was no longer going to be valid. So now it's possible that federal drug agents can be knocking on the door at your corner retail outlet and.
Yeah, and from what I understand, what it means basically, the federal lawyers of the state can decide whether they want to prosecute or not, instead of allowing the states to say, "Hey, this is not a crime."
Right.
Now, from what I understood, now most of the governors of these states have responded like, we don't think anything's going to change. We don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can tell these fucking stoners are like, weed just went criminal again, and stoners are fucking less paranoid. It's like, that is goddamn weird to me,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it just has some interesting implications to see what happens, going down the road in the next couple of years as more states legalize weed, which brings me to story number 2, Vermont.
All right.
So Vermont had their law allowed for medicinal.
Sure, okay.
But they did not have recreational.
All right.
Well, Vermont passed legislation that decriminalizes possession of marijuana.
Okay.
And
So meaning recreational is not legal, but if you get caught with it, it's not a crime.
Exactly.
Okay.
And now what's unique about this bill is, unlike all the other states that have the recreational weed or non-legal, weed's not illegal there, all of those states passed that through voter referendums.
Okay.
In Vermont, it was the state legislature acting on its own that passed that.
So Congress did it without anybody asking them to.
Right, the state
politicians
did that.
Sure, all right, can see that. Good for them.
And as of right now, the governor's like, I'm not comfortable, setting up retail right now because none of the proposals that have been presented to me on that.
But hey, if we catch you with it, it's not a crime.
Right.
Cool.
He's like, I'm going to be open to proposals for setting up a retail marketplace, but the conditions have to be right on it. So.
All right. So basically, right now, he's setting up a situation where, let's say, there's a hell of a black market going on. People that, have medical cards could buy for in retail or something of that. Sinners be them. A situation and that Jeff Beauregard Session is ultimately afraid of, right?
No, I mean, the thing that really struck me about that I really liked was it was the legislature that took it upon itself to pass this instead of the people having to do a voter referendum and costing money for an election to get this done. You know
what? Vermont, you got balls out there. That I will say then. Good for you, Vermont. Good for you.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just, with all the politics going on in the country today, not just on the national level, but at different things going on at state and local levels. It's just,
it's nice to hear something. It's nice to hear something positive coming out of
some
a
common
government
sense stuff coming out.
Yeah. I mean,
Instead
sure,
of
we've got
bickering and locking stuff down, pointing fingers at each other. It's like, this is something that.
But then we have the feds.
It's pointless to have these laws on the books, so let's take them off and, let people live their lives, as long as they're being responsible with it.
Why do you think it is? And I don't understand this with Sessions and, the Trump administration. The Republicans have control of the White House, the Senate, the House. They have total control of this, and they've always been, pro states' rights. Hey, let the states decide what they want to do. Less federal government. Am I right? That's been their traditional stance. I mean, for the most part, they do want to intervene and don't kill babies and shit. But for the most part, things like this, it seems like they're taking a reverse stance from their traditional. Why do you think that is?
I think that's just part of the natural process of just having a two-party system.
As they just flip and flop?
Yeah, because, I mean, think about it. Like, back when we were kids, we grew up in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And who got elected? The Southern Democrats. Democrats were really starting to keep in office down there. But the political views kind of started shifting, because when you have a two-party system, over time it's just going to go to the fringes. And they're going to be the ones screaming the loudest. Well, most people aren't going to be on the fringes of the opposite sides of the political spectrum.
No, they're in the middle, and they're...
Right, and in the need to maintain power, they have to kind of eat back towards the middle to regain voters, and eventually they give here on this, and they give here on this, and eventually they just pass each other in the going until they switch to the other extremes, and then they slowly come back.
This conversation has become fucking... We got too stoned to go to this conversation.
We're off track on what we're here for. We're not here for politics in general. We're here to talk about weeds.
That's funny. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Like I say, I wanted to kind of go from there. I have some things. Yeah, again, we don't necessarily... There's not been too much happening in the world of weed from what I've seen, other than... we're still headed towards legalization in a positive manner. So, I thought maybe we'd switch over and entertain a little bit. What do you think there?
Sure.
Okay, well, I thought maybe we would do a little jokes segment. And I've taken my time and looked up some jokes. And what we'll do here, Dank, is you want to keep score for us as well?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. And the simple rules will, of course, be we'll tell a joke. I've got 20 jokes. We'll take, and we'll keep score. Whoever laughs, the other person gets a point. So I think we've kind of hashed out the rules beforehand. Anything you want to make sure we cover here?
Nah, basically, if a joke is told and you laugh and the other person doesn't laugh, then that person gets a point, whether you tell the joke or not.
Yeah, there you go.
If we both laugh, neither of us gets a point.
There you go. Well, no, both of us get a point. If we laugh, the other person gets a point. So it could be a lot of points
so
here.
Laugh, nobody gets a point. Okay.
Yeah, neither of us laugh,
nobody
gets a point.
All right,
yeah,
we're good here.
All right, so you ready? I'll tell you what. I'll start out. Okay, you ready? Let's see. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
What?
The Holocaust. Okay, go ahead. Then.
That's a point for me.
That joke cracked me up, man. Sorry, that one was funny.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the idiot's house. Knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
No, all right. Sorry, what's the worst part about breaking up with a Japanese girl?
What?
You got to drop the bomb on her twice before she gets the point. Sorry, I couldn't keep it either. Point for each of us. Wow, that broke the ice. Good, here we go.
Why was the guitar teacher arrested?
Why?
For fingering a minor.
Okay. What do anal sex and broccoli have in common? If you were forced to have them as a kid, you probably won't like them as an adult.
Probably true.
There we go. There it was. That's a point for me.
No. That was after the 3 seconds.
Okay,
you had
good.
a 3 second.
3 second rule. All right, go ahead. So all you got to do is hold it in for 3 seconds.
The mafia and pussies have in common.
What?
One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit.
Okay. All right. How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman?
How many?
None. Okay, go ahead. None. You got none. You heard none, right? I mean, okay, just making sure. None. Because if you don't feed them, they die. Kind of like that salamander I had from school. Why was 7 afraid of 6?
Why was 7 afraid of 6?
He was a 6 offender. Okay,
Point
fine.
for me.
Fine, take your point. I thought it was funny.
Oh, it's funny, but the point of the game is not to laugh.
I'm trying not to. That's it's all about.
I thought that was hilarious.
All right, go ahead. Here we go. We're still in the game.
When do you kick a midget in the balls?
When?
When he is standing next to your girlfriend saying her hair smells nice.
Wow. Okay. What's an activity that 9 out of 10 people enjoy? Did you?
What is an activity that 9 out of 10 people enjoy?
Gang rape.
Very true.
Very true.
You laughed.
I did laugh. It was funny. That's the problem with this. I laugh telling my own damn jokes. I know it's funny. I laughed when I wrote it down.
If a dove is the bird of peace, then what's the bird of true love?
What?
The swallow.
Swallow. Wow. Okay. All right. Did you hear about the Mexican magician?
No.
He went uno, dos, and poof, disappeared without a trace.
So sad, man.
So sad.
So sad.
Go ahead, then. Go ahead. What's your...
You know how I can tell David Copperfield's not a good magician?
How's that?
He can't make these sexual assault allegations disappear.
All right. Yeah.
All right. On the fly, but yeah.
All right. You ready? What's scary about a white guy in prison?
What?
You know he actually did it.
That's true.
That's true. There you go.
And you laughed.
I did not laugh at
You
that. Go ahead. Okay, yes. Snickered. That was the word he used, folks.
What do you call an anorexic bitch with a yeast infection?
What do you call an anorexic bitch with a yeast infection? Why?
Quarter pounder with cheese.
Okay. All right. What type of file turns a 15 millimeter hole into a 40 millimeter hole?
Pedophile?
There you go. A pedophile.
Point for me.
It wasn't a point for you if you got the answer.
But you laughed.
Okay, now I'm laughing. Go ahead. All right, you got the point. I'll give it to you. They cracked me. I knew I had the fucking answer written down, and I still laughed when you got it. Wow. All right, go ahead.
What's the difference between a golf ball and the G-spot?
What?
A guy will actually take time to look for the golf ball.
That's true. That's true. I have spent 10 minutes looking for a golf ball.
How do you rape a camel?
How do you rape a camel?
Yeah.
How?
One hump at a time.
All right, okay. Two cannibals are eating a tourist. One asks his friend, "How you doing?" His friend says, "I'm having a ball." First one says, "Slow down, you're eating too fast." Okay, go ahead. No, in 3 seconds, you can laugh now. Go ahead. You held it in. Don't hold it in too long. You'll fart and we'll have to go take a break.
What is the difference between erotic and kinky? Erotic is using a feather. Kinky is using the whole chicken.
Yeah, that one I've heard before. Did you hear about the stolen Viagra shipment? Police said be on the lookout for hardened criminals.
Do you have? How many?
How about we go two more? Okay. How do you keep two blind guys from fighting? Yell, "I've got money on the one with the knife." There we go. That's a point. Yeah.
For both of us.
I just loved you picturing that. I've got money on the one with the knife. Holy fuck! I'm not fighting, man. He's got a knife. Two blind guys. All right, go back. All right, your turn. That's a point for each of us.
Here we go.
All right.
What do you call a nun in a wheelchair?
What?
Virgin Mobile.
Did you hear the Secret Service had to change its command from "Get Down" to "Donald Duck"? No. Okay, go. All right. I thought that was a good one. All right. You got one more. Last chance. I started you in.
What do you see when the Pillsbury Doughboy bends over?
What do you see when the Pillsbury Doughboy bends over? What? Donuts. Wow. All right. That's not too bad. All right. What's our final score?
I beat you 6-5.
6-5. Well, congratulations. That's what I was about to say, too.
Kicked your ass a
Congratulations.
lot worse. Actually taking proper time to prepare for the segment. But
Well, next time
I'll be
you'll
ready.
know. Yeah,
I'll
there we
slowly
go.
work on it and accumulate some jokes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what I was thinking we would do now, we could, I would like to go into a segment that's just cool stories. You know, things that when I was high, I was like, God damn, this blew my fucking mind. Here's a story I wanted to talk to you about. Check this out. This was a cool one that fucking blew my mind. And it's a story about Edgar Allan Poe. You know, the author of The Raven and Telltale Heart, and etc. And did you know that in Poe's lifetime, he actually only wrote and published one full novel? Everything else was short stories and poetry, right? Okay. Now, that one novel that he published was a story about a shipwreck that there were 4 survivors, and as the survivors were floating along trying to survive, the story went that they, caught a sea turtle. They ate sea turtle, but after a few days, they were starving. There's an old theory that says, we're only 9 miles away from anarchy, right? And they ended up drawing straws, and they cannibalized one of the 4 shipmates, a guy named Richard Parker. All right, that's Edgar Allan Poe, and I'm sure you're saying, hey, the Raven and all this other shit. He's a pretty dark guy. Okay, interesting, right? Well, 50 years later, okay, there's a yacht leaving from London trying to sail to Sydney, Australia. All right, the yacht goes down due to bad weather. There are 4 survivors, along their journey. They actually catch a sea turtle and they eat the sea turtle, but that's not enough. And they end up cannibalizing one of the 4 shipmates, a guy named Richard Parker. Saying, like I say, almost the exact same story that Poe had written about 50 years earlier, down to the character. What do you think about that, man? That fucking blew my mind when I heard about that.
Hell of a coincidence.
Hell of a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Is there something supernatural about it? To tell the exact story 50 years prior to it happening. The only story, the only full novel he ever wrote, and it actually came true.
Well, did the whole novel come true, or did just certain parts of it come true?
I like I say, I don't know if it's word for word. Well, I do know that, it didn't happen exactly right. This I did follow up, and I actually looked up. So in the novel, here was one of the biggest differences. In the novel, they drew straws to see who would get eaten. In real life, Richard Parker had made the mistake. He was dehydrated and he drank seawater. Okay, so
it was best preserved.
They actually got to the point where they were about to draw straws, but he fell ill, and they said, "Well, he's dying anyhow. Let's just eat him." Yeah. And that's what they did. So it's not word for what happened in the novel, but close enough that that's pretty extreme. A story that macabre. What if the world of Stephen King comes true?
I don't know.
Marijuana affects perception.
Well, that'll depend on which Stephen King story came to life.
One of my favorite movies, and it's a John Carpenter flick, and it's called In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that, reality is created by majority opinion, that basically because,
everybody agrees this particular shade of color looks like this, therefore it's called black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is...
socially accepted norms.
Yes. Yeah. And if the extreme ideation, like I say, the Stephen King character mentality were to become the majority view, wouldn't it become reality? And if it did, wouldn't monsters be real?
Yeah.
Smoke it. All right. Well, yeah. So something to think about, right?
Yeah,
Here,
that's pretty interesting.
this is something else. Actually, this ties in a lot more to it than I actually believe the Stephen King story does. And I want you to follow this. And again, I just want to blow your fucking mind, all right? But the same idea of we create our own reality through thought, all right? The way of the world today, right? And what we're told, what we're being told to be afraid of, right? Things like, all these people are going to come to our country and, they're going to take over and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Well, we're being, this, I didn't understand this. I had read somewhere that there were only 20 aircraft carriers in the entire world. And the United States owns 10 of them. These people aren't going to be coming over and taking over our world, right? I mean, Abraham Lincoln once said that, all the armies of Asia, all the armies of Africa, all the armies of Europe couldn't take a drink out of the Ohio River in 1,000 years. And as we're looking at this, if they don't even have aircraft carriers, how are we in danger of anything? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where's our threat to the way of life? This ties in as well. I was actually surprised as well by this little fact. Okay, did you know that currently, if you make $21,000 a year, you are in the top 4% income in the entire world? That's amazing to me, and yet we don't appreciate it. We keep struggling to get more and more, and we look at people like Trump and all these fucking rich assholes, and we say we want to be there, but we're already in the top 4%. That's amazing. I guess it's because we're kept from having a worldview because we're told, hey, this is the outside world's bad and it's going to take over and we got to be prepared. And it's like, no, we don't. There's nothing out there to be afraid of. All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we got way off topic.
Yeah, let's go on to our next segment. Let's review our movies. We did look at two things we want to review this week. First is going back to the Stephen King movie, the movie It, which recently came out on DVD. I've had a chance to see it.
I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, What do you think of it, man? I can't wait I'm going to buy a copy of it. That's
yeah. I mean, they totally screwed it up like they do a lot of Stephen King stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I mean, it was kids. They were pretty engaging. I cared about them as characters. They did a good job.
They're gazebos.
It was a very good visually done movie.
Yeah, I mean,
special effects were good. It was a fun movie just to watch.
I want to smoke a big fat ass joint and just watch it, man. I bet it's like a 3-joint. It will fuck you up. You'll have nightmares and want to have sex with a clown. Yeah, like I say, definitely worth smoking a big fat ass joint, folks, and just trust us. Yeah. You will be fucked up by this movie. You will have nightmares, and the sequel will be coming out. I think it's September of next year. Yeah, 2019. So, all right. The other thing we wanted to discuss was there's a series on Netflix called Disjointed, which is a lot about the marijuana industry, and you got a chance to see.
Episode 1.
Episode 1, which stars Kathy Bates.
Runs a medicinal shop down in California somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, what'd you think of it? What'd you think of it as a show overall? The way the first episode, I gotta say, does kind of go a lot on stereotypes you think about people smoking weed.
Yeah, that was my main kick on the first. See, through the first episode, not really sold on it yet. I'm willing to watch second episode, see if it hooks me in a little bit more.
All right. Well, shall we wrap it up, sir? And like I say, we'll call it a day for today, folks, and get back together right at probably weekend of WrestleMania. And life is good between now and then. I'm just your singing stone monkey.
See what I gotta put up with.